Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. I'm Sara Jane. This is Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls on Gift of Healing TV. Welcome to the programme. Now, I'm not 100% certain what's going on. Excuse me. Um, and I don't know what you're seeing. But it looks to me like my guest, who happens to be my sister, which is probably I'm very grateful about actually at the moment, appears to be sideways, and we can't seem to straighten her up. so
To me, I look perfectly straight.
So hello Jackie, welcome, and thank you for joining me.
That's all right. Hello, Sarah. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, and I don't know what's going on with my throat. It's a pleasure to have you. So I apologise, folks, if you are seeing exactly what I am seeing, which means that Jackie's looking as if she's sideways on. No, now you're looking right. That's better. That's the right way.
No, that makes my double chin really big.
The topic for this program, is the 3 C's in life. The 3 C's being choice, chance, and change. And so, Jackie, let's start. Should we start with choice? Let's start with the beginning. Well, I don't know which order they should really come in, I suppose, but the choices we make, with the chances we take, create the change that comes into our life. So the first saying I've got up here is, you must make the choice to take the chance if you want anything to change in your life. And isn't it? Everything in our life is a choice. It doesn't feel like it at times, but everything in our life is a choice. And we make choices on a daily basis, even if we don't realize we're doing it.
I agree with you totally on that one. I think we choose which side of the bed we get out of. We choose to clean our teeth. We choose to have a drink. We choose to follow the routine that we've been in every day for the last however many months, years, whatever. They may be automatic habits, but actually we're choosing to still do those automatic things. And if we want something to change, it's about making that choice to create the change realistically. So I think you're exactly right. So often people go, but I haven't got any choice. You have. You can say no, and then they go, but I've got to earn the money to pay the mortgage, to do the this, that, and the other. But sometimes if you take some slightly different routes, I've been watching a wonderful program on, I think it's BBC, Home is Where the Art Is, with Nick Knowles and artists. And the number of the artists that say that at a certain point in their life, they changed career and they started doing something they loved. And you see the passion, you hear it, you see their work, and you just think that's amazing. But they had to have that courage to make that change, to make the choice, to create, that different quality of life. So yeah, I agree with you totally, Sarah.
And I did it. There's no two ways about it. Well, I've done it several times, but the most important choice change of life was when it was like, I'm out of insurance and this is what I would like to do. And you do have the choices. And I remember something that you shared, and I think you and I may have talked about, not necessarily on this, is that, if you are sat on the wall and you don't know which way to go, just staying there is a choice.
Yeah.
You make a choice, and you're making a choice by default.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I think there's that there's that little thing, there are 5 birds sitting on a branch. One decided to fly off. How many are left? So there's still 5 there because one only decided to. He didn't actually take action. And, the number of people who go, well, none of them, because they all followed the first one, or some of them say 4 or whatever else. It's actually, they're all 5 still there, because you can decide to do something, but until you take that action, you know, decision is only one part of the process. But I used to say to my clients, they would say to me, but I don't know what I want to do. So I used to say to my clients, okay, what don't you want to do? And they'd go, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And I go, okay, cool, that's fantastic. This is helping you to make a choice. Because all the time you're thinking about what you don't want to do, you're scratching it off. Because so many people would come to me and I'd say, what sort of work would you like to do? And they go, anything. And I go, well, would you like to work in a kitchen doing the washing up? Would you like to be a dustman? Would you like to? No. And I'm going, well, it's not anything then, is it? So what don't you want to do? Wipe all of those off, and it will help you decide what you do want to do. The other one is if you got the choice of two things and you don't know which one to do, get a coin. Choice one is heads and choice two is tails. And as you throw it up in the air, your mind will tell you, let it be heads, let it be heads, let it be heads, or tails, whichever it is. And that tells you which your subconscious deep down in you wants to do. And I think that's a fantastic way of doing it, because it actually really helps you to cut through the rubbish, putting it politely, and get to the crux of what you'd really like to do.
Yeah, and we do have choices with things. Some of them appear to be tough choices. We have the choice to stay in a relationship, to stay in a job, you know, to stay in a friendship, to stay living in a particular town. There are so many choices we have in life, and some of them feel like default. You know, getting out of my second marriage, it felt so difficult to make that choice. But then when something happened, it was like, I have to do it now. And once the choice was made and the action was taken, actually things fell into place much easier than I expected them to. So sometimes when you're battling, you know the choice you wish to make, but your mind, your ego mind, your chatter mind, this can happen, that's how, just cut through that. Because you have no idea how the other people will behave, react, etc., until you actually do it. And you can be very surprised. Doesn't mean they like it, doesn't mean they're happy about it. But the universe is amazing. It can really conspire to help you in amazing ways when you make those tough choices.
Yeah. Sometimes the choice may be to stay doing something you love when somebody else is trying to put pressure on you to do something that you would prefer not to do. So choice and change doesn't always have to be about changing something that's not so nice or not so good or whatever else. It could be staying doing something you really love. When other people maybe or circumstances are trying to push you to do something else. So I think that it's not just always about the hard things. You know, it's not just always about the negative in our lives. Sometimes it can be the positives and everything else. And I've had clients in the past who seem to have been apologizing for the fact that they were actually doing. It's like, don't apologize, just go fantastic. And, you know, is there something you can do to make it even better? You know, is there, yeah, I don't know. I think that, yeah, I think there were two more C's that I was thinking of, and they were communication and collaboration. Because actually, when we communicate with those around us and we actually connect really well with them, we can collaborate on helping to create those changes and choices and all of that. So it can be, and I do think that communication is a vital one.
Another C I came up with challenges. So I think there are way more than three C's, but these were the three C's. And it is about taking a chance in life. It really is. Because if you don't take the chances A chance challenge. I suppose you could,
Yeah.
you could potentially, but if you don't take the chances with things in life,
I'm going to sneeze, sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, excuse me.
That's all right.
Sorry, I knew that. There's going to be another one in a minute. I apologise. I've got a cold.
Bless you. I'm sneezing all the time. It's hay fever, so don't worry about it. Take the chances. If there is something that is offered to you and it really speaks to you, take the chance to go with it. Don't let the mind, the ego, if your immediate reaction when you're offered something is yes, and then the niggles start. The reasons why you shouldn't, you can't, you couldn't.
It's selfish. It's this. It's going to negatively impact on somebody else. It's going to this, that, and the other. And I think that there are times in life where we do put other people first, and that is the right thing to do in that moment. But it's about making a conscious choice and accepting that you made that conscious choice and then living with it. Don't try and make people feel bad, because I think that there's nothing worse than you make a choice because you feel you've got to, and then you make everybody else around you pay for the fact that you've been holier than thou and done it for them. And if that's going to be the case, you would be better to choose to do the one that suits you better rather than them, because you just make them pay for something. And the number of times I've come across that, even within our own family, that happens, and a little snarky comment will come out, 6 months later, and you think, but I asked and you said and whatever else. And that's hard.
Yeah.
Because you made a decision, and that's why communication comes in.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I mean, you're very good at saying that, did I hear what I think you said, or did you mean what I heard? Yeah. And whatever else. And I think too often we make assumptions. And I think a question out there for everybody is, in our family, and correct me if you think I'm wrong on this, Sarah, we were brought up to consider everybody else and do things that made other people's lives better. And we were taught to have already gone through the thought process, everything that was selfish, that was this, that, and the other, and whatever else, to make the best choice. And we would have made the compromise when we made the offer. Then other people would try and make us compromise even more. But they never knew what our starting position was and the fact that we'd already made a compromise. And so I think that as good as that training was for us, it wasn't very fair on other people, because they never knew where our starting point was, and they never knew that we were actually already making concessions. Gosh, it's all the C's this evening, isn't it? But we were making concessions and we were already giving and we were already doing that. Then they would try and push for more. And I mean, I had that especially with my children, just constantly, you think about what was the best, you'd make the best offer, and then they'd try and push for more, little monkeys. Grown-up monkeys now, actually. Hence, I'm actually at my eldest son's at the moment, cat sitting again, which is rather lovely, I must admit. But I just think it's something to think about. Are you one of those people who has already done a whole load of giving without even telling people or letting them know that you were putting yourself out for them to do what you thought was best for them? But actually, how many times within our family have we then discovered later on that the other person might have liked something else? We thought we were doing the right thing, but actually it was us. We'd never given them the chance to give their input on it.
It is about asking, but it is about taking chances, and it is.
Yeah.
I think with this, it is about self. The choice, the chance, the change, the compromise, the challenge, the C's that we're coming up with.
The collaboration, the conscious choice, the
Yeah,
communication there.
it, but I think maybe the starting point should have been, it is all right, it is okay. In fact, it is essential to consider another C,
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Your choices around what feels right to you, for you.
Yeah.
Taking the chances that feel right for you to help you. See, I'm not sure I like that word change in the seeds, to be perfectly honest, because it isn't about us changing. It is about us. To me, it is about us growing. It is about us taking those choices and those chances to be more than we are at the point we make the choices and take the chances. It's about our growth. It's
Yeah.
about becoming even more than we already are and growing into the amazing being that we are, and allowing ourselves to think about ourselves. What you were saying about the way we were brought up, absolutely. It was about considering another
Yeah.
thing, everybody,
Yeah.
everybody, but
And
ourselves.
putting ourselves last, but making those decisions. I wonder if change is something different than the perception. Maybe change is changing the actions that we're taking. So you said you weren't so sure about it for in the meaning that you had for it, but I think I'm hearing it with, if you change the action, if you change your routine. I mean, I love the fact of, if you drive to work the same way every day, change the route, see something different, don't be on autopilot, take a different route every day. Change where the biscuit jar is so that you don't automatically do that if you want to, let go of a bit of weight. Change where, I don't know, whatever it is, but maybe change some of the actions that you automatically do so that it gets you thinking rather
do
than just being stuck in that rut of a routine.
do things in a different order.
Yeah, definitely.
Why they get done?
Well, as long as it's not eat the egg then cook it.
Oh,
That'd be a bit difficult though, wouldn't it? Because you
yeah.
can't really eat it and then cook it. But do you know what I mean? It's like, what can you do different? Hey, if you have an egg for breakfast every day, have it scrambled, have it poached, have it boiled, have it fried, have it coddled, have it, you name it. Try it a different way. Shake it up a bit. If you like bacon, I know two things that my eldest son does. He will have avocado with bacon and egg for breakfast. So he'll have avocado then. Or he'll do asparagus with the bacon. He'll wrap the asparagus in the bacon. And it's just that little bit different, slight change. Challenge it.
Yes, I suppose I'm seeing the word change in respect of the choices that you make, and the chances you take are the change you have in your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, mix your life up. Sort of, if your order of your day,
Yeah.
getting up has to be the first thing you do. You
But it might be that you want to wake up 15 minutes earlier and read a bit or lie down and do a little meditation or do something else. So it can be slightly different. It might be you want to give yourself that little bit of time. It might be that you just want to wallow in your bed for 15 minutes. As in, when I say wallow, I don't necessarily mean feeling sorry for yourself, that type of wallowing. I mean just enjoy it and just, oh yeah, this is great. And, I mean, I do a countdown. As in, when I get up, I'm thinking, I know this might sound awful. I think I've got so many hours before I can come back here because I love my bed. And what have I got to do during the day? Oh, I need to feel, because then I'll, it's just, it's not that I'm wishing the day away. I just, yeah.
No, but then, okay, I suppose my getting up routine is I do some certain thank yous and help for the day and all the rest of it while I'm still lying in bed. And one of them is asking support with my day.
Yeah.
And that is when I first think about what is being done in my day. And though what I say is, okay, other than that getting up, which has to come first, elements of that order can be flexible. Now, the fact that I was a guest on a friend's program earlier this evening, and I'm doing this one, those times weren't flexible. But everything else, and eating meals at sort of certain times, but everything else, what could I do when? How can I mix things around so that it's not literally up, do this, now do this, now do that. And it's exactly the same routine every day.
Yeah.
Try and mix your routine up so that you get things done, but you're challenging your mind, your brain, to not be stuck in a rut.
That rut, it's so easy to get stuck in that rut. So, and it is a choice to change that, to create that change. And I'm going to bring in an F: flexibility. There is. It's that choice to do that, and sometimes it's good. It makes us think. It makes us think that we're stuck. Sometimes it can make us think that we're stuck in a rut, and actually we do want to create change. That actually this has become too familiar, and we're existing rather than living.
Yes.
And maybe we would like to do something different. And it's not always possible to create that change overnight. So it might be you need to do some steps of something else to get to that point. And I remember talking to clients and sort of saying, this spell of maybe 6 months that you're not going to enjoy very much, based on the fact you're doing something that you'd rather not do, but it's going to get you to there. But rather than thinking you're not going to enjoy it, every day you have, you're one step closer to achieving what it is you want. So you've changed that mindset, which actually helps you to enjoy something you thought you weren't going to enjoy, if that makes sense. So because you're one step closer, and for some of them, I used to say, okay, maybe it's that you're going to get your wage at the end of the week, and then you can take your children out for a meal, or you can go and do something that you weren't able to do otherwise. And it doesn't matter what you go through in that period of time, because you know that by doing that, you are going to get the ability to do this that you really want to do. And that's going to create a happy memory, a joyful one, and it's going to create change in the family dynamics, whatever it is. And the number of people who said they'd not thought about potentially their work in that way, they'd seen work as a chore, rather than the fact they could think about it in a way that led them to something they wanted to do or achieve. Could be saving for a holiday, could be saving for a new car, could be going and doing something, an experience in life or whatever else. And once they were thinking more positively about it and finding the positive outcome, they were actually able to enjoy it more in that time. So sometimes it may be you're still doing the same thing, and the thing you're changing is just the way you think about it.
Oh, absolutely. I remember a client of mine, and all right, she was mostly coming, I think, for Indian head massage, but those bits of Reiki checked in with that, which clients are always asked, and I always ask, and I always honour their yes or their no. This particular client was saying yes. And she sat on the edge of the couch one day and she said to me, I know my life hasn't changed. She said, but it feels as if it has. She said, nothing has changed around me, and life was easier. And I think it was the same client that said, because she'd walk up from where she lived relatively close. I said, the minute I walk through your gate, I totally relax. It was the energy of that.
Yeah.
And she was able to take that energy, and it was making a huge difference in her life. So she'd taken the choice to have the experiences of what I offered. And it wasn't about, well, maybe it was a chance, taking the chance to come and see me. But it changed an attitude, a perception, a whatever within her. And I suppose that's what it's done for me. That's what the Reiki, the sound, the metamorphic, etc. That's what it's done for me. It has helped me to relax and take on less of other people's stuff, which means that, so I've taken the choice that it's just like, actually, do you know what? It's their stuff. I can let it go. And therefore, my life has changed. I have grown. My experiences are very different because I don't let them be disturbed by other people's energies and place in their life. They may be.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. I think it comes back to those C's again. It comes back to, I think the biggest one is choice. And I think I go back to something that I've said, a number of times in the different shows, is sometimes what leads to creating that choice is one of the greatest gifts we can ever have, which is frustration. When we are frustrated with something, then we have a motivation to help to create that change, to make those choices, to do something differently, to find what it is that we want to do. So, yeah.
You used the word frustration. I looked at the way I felt about my second marriage was that we were stuck in a rut, two separate ruts.
Yeah.
His was lined with rose petals because he was very happy. Mine was lined with rose thorns. Life became so uncomfortable that I wasn't prepared to stay in that rut anymore. So I made the choice to leave. And I had to be the one to make the choice. Nobody could do it for me. And there are some tough choices. But you know what? There are some choices that can be great fun. The choices of the experiences I had last year. Great fun. So there are fun choices and there are some tougher choices.
Mm.
But we have that chance. And this little saying came to me when this came about. It is your choice to take the chances in the challenges life brings you to grow.
Yeah.
And it's about your choice being honoring and you. It is about honoring yourself.
Mm. And sometimes it's just giving ourselves permission to do that.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Jackie, thank you so very much. And I know you've struggled a bit through this, and it's been totally seeing you on sideways. It really has. No, that's better. That way, so that I can see. Yeah, that looks more like it. Thank you so much for joining me, folks. Thank you for joining us this evening. Next week. Oh, okay. Life is all about change. So change is inevitable. Growth is optional. There you go. There's going to be some expanding on that. It'll probably just be me. So I'll put that there for a reason. So that's the next one. Life is all about change. I hope you will join me next week. Please go to the website, giftofhealingtv.com. You'll find many more thoughtful nuggets and pearls. There's over 100 up there now. Interviews, meditations, exercises. Go and enjoy, and it's all free. Just go and enjoy it. If you want to email me for any reason, you've got something you'd like to share, giftofhealingtv@gmail.com, and I will come back to you. Jackie, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Much appreciated. Thank you, folks. Have a brilliant week, and I'll see you next week. Love, peace, light to you all. Namaste.
Namaste.